woke me up. Famous to all the baby where them woke me at. Where don't make me feel like say I'm not man enough. I no get nothing for offer. To all me party will look down on me. Where don't make me feel like say my life no go become something. And they walked away. All the people will promise for help me. They say come office today, tomorrow, next tomorrow. The story not just the same.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your favorite talk show, Talk to M. And I am your host, Mulku Sulaiman Bangura. And thank you so much for joining me. If you're listening on radio, thank you for joining me. If you're also watching me on Facebook on the Epic Radio live stream page, thank you so much for also joining me. And I want to say thank you to all my fans and everybody that has been supporting me, watching the show on Facebook, listening to the show on radio. Thank you so much. I couldn't have done this without you. I don't think I will be here without you. And, we continue to bring you very important topics that will definitely elevate you in whatever aspect of your life. Thank you so much for joining me. This show is brought to you in collaboration with Epic Radio 99.3 FM. And so today is going to be another amazing show. I have another amazing package for you. We designed this show to help young people, with different aspects of their life, provide critical insight into whatever social challenges they're going through, they're having, they're experiencing, just to point them in the right direction as they travel this thing called life that has no GPS and no direction. So we are here to figure things out all by ourselves. Now, let me just say this. I am not a professional. I am not an expert on anything. I'm just a guy who's also trying to figure it out. So we will figure everything out together. I'm just sharing my experiences so you can learn from me and I can also learn from you. Thank you for joining me once again. So today's show, you're stuck with me again once more. It's going to be a solo show, a monologue, because I have so much information for you. If I were you, I would grab my pen, grab a paper, a pencil or a paper, and start taking notes, because I'm going to dump a lot of information on you today. Specifically, if you are out there, if you're a student or you're a parent and you have a son, your daughter, or a child who is very brilliant and they're thinking about studying overseas, but you don't know the first thing to do. You don't even know what to do, where to go, or who to talk to. This is the show for you. If you're contemplating that I want my son to study in Ireland, I want my son to study in Canada, or I want my son to try opportunities in the US as well, but I don't know what to do. Like, what's the first step? What are the things that needed to be done? What are the requirements? What documentations that are needed for me or my son to do that? Well, this is the show for you. Grab your pen, grab your paper. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing, the entire admission cycle. And because for today's topic, it's called the application process to study as an international student. Sit back. We have 1 hour. Lay back, have your pen and pencil and your paper, and let's walk through all of the steps together. Thank you for joining me. Come right back again, to continue from where I left off. We're going to take a short break, and I'll be back once more.
I'm looking forward to a brighter future. I'm moving ahead. I never stop for nothing. I'm looking forward to a brighter future. I'm moving ahead. I never stop for nothing.
Yes, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is your favorite talk show, Talk to M, and I am your favorite host, Mulku Sulaiman Bangura. Just know that if you're sitting at home watching or listening to me right now, you can join the show by sending a text message to the number 079-994-993, or you can call in and ask your questions on 079-994-993. I'm craving to listen to you. I want to hear your, whatever opinion or comments you have that you might want to share. So please feel free to drop in those comments and all those questions as you may wish. Now, straight to the topic. So today's topic, like I said, I'm going to address. So, I always start with my intentions. Let me just speak to my intentions. Before the end of this show, I want my listeners, my viewers out there, to understand the admission cycle. What does it mean? To understand the requirements that are needed by these universities. What are these requirements, and when are they needed? The documents that they normally request for. What are these documents? What do they mean? And also the process, how long it takes, and if time permits us, we'll even go further to talk about preparation for the visa process, the visa interview process. But so just stick with me as I try to unpack all of these critical details. So now, the application cycle. One of the biggest mistakes we make as Sierra Leoneans, and this is based on having conversations with a number of students in the past. Before I proceed, I must say I've worked before in higher education. So after I graduated at Clark University, so during my optional professional training, which is called professional training, I was the senior assistant director of graduate admissions at Clark University. And so in that position, I had to review over 1,000 applications from students across the world. And when I say 1,000 applications, I mean it. You have to read every word. And it's not just, when I say an application, it's not just 2 pages. I mean, maybe 10 pages of one application, because for one application, it has the student's resume, the student's personal study objective, the student transcript, the results. I have to review all of those things before I make a decision on whether to accept the student or reject the student. So I've been there on the other side. I've reviewed applications. I know exactly what these admissions officers are looking for. I understand their mindset. I understand the university's mindset. I understand how they think and what they want. So I feel like I am highly capable to give you those information, and that's why I'm sitting behind this desk, and I feel qualified to tell you, everything you need to know about studying overseas, but especially in the U.S. So, as I was saying earlier, we approach studying in the U.S. like it's like we've used to approaching, studying locally here in some of the universities. I just thought I should let you know that in the U.S., universities are a big deal. I mean, it's a business. They take it very seriously. It's a business. It's a big business. It's a growing business. And they are highly influential at the legislative level. I mean, they expect what they're looking for. It's just like when you have your small business and you're looking for customers. Students are basically their customers, their clients. Okay, so it's a big business. It's something that it's a billion-dollar industry in the U.S. Higher education brings so much money, to that economy. So it's a big business. This is specifically in the U.S. and I'm certain it's also across other countries, except for perhaps Canada, that they're operating on a free education system. However, you still have to pay taxes, and those taxes goes to supporting their higher education system. But what I'm saying is, it's a big business for countries like the U.S. So they take it very seriously. They have independent organizations that conduct these ratings for them, and it's a big deal because they have to also maintain higher ratings. And for them to maintain higher ratings, these organizations and this peer review, articles reviewed by their peers, it affects the position and the stance on those ratings. And based on those ratings, it elevates them to a status of a top ranking university or a low ranking university. And some of the things that actually makes them a top ranking universities is student, right? So the caliber of the student. So as a student, you have to be of a higher caliber if you want to attract certain universities. I'm saying all of this to say that if you are applying to a school, whether in the US or wherever in the world, you have to understand that you are a client, and you want to convince these people to accept you, even though you're bringing in your money. And it's not like because you are handsome, or because you are the son or the daughter of a rich man, or even though I know nepotism works, but it doesn't mean that it's an automatic acceptance or admission. You still have to go through the crucibles. You still have something to offer the schools. That's what I'm trying to get to. And so you have to understand that this is a business for them, and it's a big business. And the caliber of students that they take, reflect on their standards and their rankings as well. So now, as I was saying, most of the schools, like I said, it's a business. You wouldn't believe that. So Harvard University, their endowment alone is over $53 billion. When they mean by endowment is that these are money that are already there, given to them by their alumni and by, or by government agencies, by other educational agencies, gifts, grants, and all those things. They are sitting somewhere as an endowment, meaning it's there for them to use, which they use on research, giving scholarships and stuff. For them to attract that kind of money, it means that they have to produce quality students that goes out there, contributes to society, and they in turn gives back to those universities. And so that's why it's very critical for them to attract the best of the best, as a student. So if you want to apply, you really have to sell yourself and convince the admissions officer that you are the best of the best. And so, like I was trying to say, Harvard University, they have an endowment of over $53 billion. I mean, University of Notre Dame, they're in South Bend, Indiana, they have $18 billion. I mean, this is billion with a B. That's what I'm telling you, billion with a B. And you have universities like Yale, $40 billion. University like University of Texas, $41 billion. This is how large their endowment is. So, like I said, it means that they attract the best of the best, they reproduce the best of the best, they go out to the world and do so well, and they come back and contribute to, national and economic development of these universities. And so that's the mindset you should have when you're applying. Now, I know a lot of people confuse this, and they're very confused about the admission cycle. What is spring? What is fall? What is summer? I don't know. We don't have those here. We only have rainy season and dry season, right? But for them out there, they have spring, they have fall, they have summer sessions. So let me break it down for you so that we can understand together. Fall admissions. So when they say fall admissions, it means colleges opens in August. When they say fall, listen carefully. Fall, when they say this is a fall admission, it means that the college, they open August. That's fall, okay? However, the cycle, when they say the cycle, it means that from the time they start accepting applications to the time application closes. And so for the fall, the application usually starts in February, March. That's when they start taking application. That's when the cycle begins. So if you want to attend a university in the US or in Europe, wherever you are, wherever you want to go, that they have a fall, that you're targeting the fall semester, the application cycle starts in February, March. Meaning you can start applying in February, March. And then the application usually closes around July. Okay? So after July, application closes. For some universities, they extend it, but they will give you a defer letter of admissions. But we'll talk about that as we go by. But have this and bear this in mind. For the fall admissions, universities opens in August, and then the admission cycle starts in February, March, meaning start for apply. You should start to apply in February and March to get there. Spring admissions. When they say spring admissions, so coming back to the fall, as an international student, this is mostly for you. When they say spring admissions, usually spring, the college, they start in January. January, 9 college begin. College reopens in January, and that's when you should, that's when you are expected to be in the US and start taking classes in January. It means that the application cycle mostly starts in August, September, okay? By August, September, the link will open, and then you can start your application. You can begin your application, and make sure you close and finish your application by December. You should have, in fact, if you're an international student, you should be done with your application the latest September, so that you can start planning on traveling and all that good stuff. As an international student, if you are coming from Sierra Leone or wherever you are in the world and you want to travel in the US or wherever in Europe, please my advice to you is always apply for the fall a year earlier. So start applying for the fall semester a year earlier. It will help you prepare more because the visa process it can be quite daunting. Okay? So now, summer admissions. When they say summer admission, summer classes starts normally in June, July, just 2 months. Now, summer classes are very short. So as an international student, most universities would discourage you to apply to go study in the US or Europe for summer classes because it's very short, just 2 to 3 months. That's not enough time, for you to grasp everything. So it's basically for domestic students. That's for the summer classes. So summer is basically for domestic students. As an international student, you should consider targeting to apply for the fall or for the spring, but mostly try to apply for the fall semester because it gives you enough time to plan, and get yourself ready and, go for your studies. Now, let's move to the pre-application process. Now, the reason I'm bringing all of this to you is this. We have had people in the past, young people, successfully, they sat down, did their research, they applied to universities in the US or Europe, and they got accepted, and currently they are there studying. They're not getting any scholarship from anybody, not to any scholarship they get, but they were able to convince the admissions officers, and the universities in turn gave them some scholarship, and now they're there studying and pursuing their higher education. If you're at home, you have that interest, you can also do that successfully, and that is why we're bringing in this show. As you all know, we are extending our International Education Month to the month of November, because there's so much information that we think we have to give to you. So, pre-application. Now, before you apply, what do you need to do? I think we've stressed that in the past. You have to conduct your own research. This is on you. Take the time, conduct extensive research. Now, what I mean by research, there is Google now, there is all these AI clients like ChatGPT now. There are people out there that are currently studying you can contact, you can connect with. And most importantly, the reason I am doing this program is also to have this on a tape somewhere. You can go to my YouTube channel, Mulku Sulaiman Bangura. Go to YouTube and type Mulku Sulaiman Bangura, and then you can always reference this tape in the future if you intend to go and study. So it can help you prepare effectively to go and study in the US. Now, you or any other part of the world that you wish to go and study. Most of these things I'm saying, it's generally what transpires in those universities. It's not specific. Like I said, you have to do your own research so that you can see what's the difference with the university, your intended university, or the university that you wish to attend, in the future. So, like I said, do your own research. Try to research about the location, like where exactly is this place? It's very important that you understand the environment that you intend to go and study in. It's quite important because it has a lot to play in how much you succeed in school. So please understand the location, the environment. The living expenses, how costly it is to go to school here. For instance, like based on my example, there are in the eastern part of the U.S., the New York, the Massachusetts, the Boston area, those Rhode Island. It's quite expensive to live there. It's very, very expensive, actually. So if you want to go and study there, you have to understand how expensive it is in terms of getting a place to stay, in terms of buying food, in terms of medical insurance. You have to understand moving around, transportation. You have to do those research. Not just saying, go that they will figure it out. Trust me, you will be, oh my God, you will be depressed the whole time. You will be so depressed. If you're not careful, you end up in the streets, sleeping on the streets. I'm not even joking. So you have to do a lot of research before you leave, to go and pursue your studies. So research about the living expenses, the tuition fee, how costly it is. Can I afford this? Where do I get funding? How am I going to fund my education? It's not only about tuition fees. You have to think about living expenses. How am I going to survive? Most African students, and I'm speaking because I know, I have the experience, they think that, I can go to the US or go to England and then go wherever you want to study. And then I'll be able to study and work. It's a fallacy. You can only, based on the visa requirements, currently, as at today, based on the F1 or M1 visa requirements, as an international student, you're only required to work for 20 hours per week during classes. You cannot work for 40 hours, full 40 hours. So the fallacy that you have that, oh, when I go there, I'm going to study and work and pay my tuition, it's wrong. That's why when you go for your interviews, you fail miserably. Because you are not able to convince, the consular that, oh, you can fund your education. It's not correct, because legally, when you are being awarded the F1 visa or the M1 visa, which are students' visas, you are only required by law to work for 20 hours a week, and you cannot pay your tuition from 20 hours a week tuition. Impossible. Let me tell you for a fact, you can't, I repeat, you cannot pay your tuition fee based on a 20 hours work week. You cannot. So do not get that. That's a fallacy. It's a misconception. It's a lie that has been going around for a long, long time. So do your research. It's on you to do that research. Also, try to ask about scholarship opportunities. What are the scholarship opportunities that are there? Most universities, they have in-house scholarships that they offer. Also, they have external scholarships that you can apply for. Ask for those scholarships. Like I said, do extensive research. And then also funding, look for funding for international students. What are the fundings that are there that I can tap from as an international student? And also, what is the track record of this university? Because you want your degree after you graduate, you should be able to go into an interview room filled with a bunch of white people in suits and maybe a black man or a black woman there and present your degree, and they say, oh, you went to this school? This is good. You want to be able to do that. So research the school, the track record, which ranking is the school, how highly ranked they are. You are not just going there spending your whole lot of money and your time to just go to a school that nobody knows, okay? They do have those schools there. It's just like any business. You get good business, you get bad business. So it's like that for them. So you have to research it and know exactly what you're going to do there in which school. So do your research, basically. Alternatively, one of the best things I advise international students to do is to actually attend webinars. This is very, 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 very important. I don't know why students don't take the time to go online and look at the admissions websites of these universities and then schedule interviews with webinars. Listen, interviews or webinars with admissions officers. Listen. Most universities, this is a secret, most universities actually reward you for attending those webinars or meeting the admissions officers one-on-one because they need you to meet those people. They want you to meet them, talk to them, express all your fears, dump everything on them, and tell them how they can improve. But also they are helping you figure it out because you are a client, you are a prospective client. You are defined as a prospective client. So they need that. That's their job. So go there, schedule interviews. If you can watch TikTok for the rest of the day on your phone, you can afford that data to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes on Zoom with these guys so that they can tell you everything you need to hear. Yes, you have the resources. You can do that. Even if you're not ready yet, just go to these universities that you see, that are interested, that they have the kind of courses that you're looking for. They have the kind of courses that you intend to pursue. They have something that interests you. Go there and just schedule one-on-one interviews with these people. Just talk to them. They love it. They want you to talk to them. So please, my advice to my international students out there, any student that is out there listening to me and watching the show, do that. Go online. Just do that. That's how you get to learn the process. That's how you get to understand, their mindset. You get to understand what they're looking for. And you get to hear all these details. Information is power. So use this information, schedule interviews with these people, and listen and talk to them. And most importantly, like I said, most universities reward you by giving you waivers. So, for instance, for most universities, they ask for application fee. Sometimes it's $50, sometimes it's $70, sometimes it's $100. Some universities, it's free. You don't have to pay any application fee. But if you attended these webinars or you schedule a one-on-one interview with these admissions officers, they can waive that for you. Like, for instance, the university that I attended, Clark University in Worcester, Massachusetts, okay? If you attend a webinar or you meet with a grad admissions officer, they waive the $70 admissions fee, which means you can apply as many times as you want. And then let me take it back. You can apply, for the kind of course that you want to apply for, and then you don't get to pay that application fee, which is good. I mean, that's taking off $70 out of your expenses already. So why not just do it? Okay, so do that. Attend those webinars. Schedule one-on-ones with these people so you can hear and learn from them everything you need to learn. So basically, that's for the pre-application. Now, let me quickly go to what you need to apply. What do you need now to apply? Let's say now all of the requirements, we then can say, oh, I'll get me documents, or I don't put all my documents together. That document thing is so ambiguous. That's the common language for Sierra Leoneans now. Oh, I need to get me document. What are these documents? What's that? Will they make this document business so, like say, in some kind, it's too ambiguous. So try to really be very direct about your documentation. So what are these documents? What do you need to put together? I'm not like a person to use, I put my documents together. No, waiting on your document there, I didn't get names. Okay, so now let's talk about those documents. Now for undergrad, so what do you need? Undergrad means say you just sit UAS or you just come out of secondary school and you are going, to study your 4 years bachelor's degree. What do you need? So for US universities, you need SAT score, okay? So the SAT is the Structural Assessment Test score. So for the US is a very ethnocentric country. What I mean is they're very proud of what who they are and what they are, and everything you have to do, you have to go through their system. They're very strict about it. So if you are to be admitted to, an undergrad level, you have to submit an SAT score, a Structural Assessment Test score. If you don't have that score, they have other evaluation, systems in place. I will talk about that as we go by. But to be on the safe side, go take this, this SAT. You can go to there's an American school. I think it's at Hill Station, right behind a Nigerian embassy. You can go in there and then you ask, when are they taking this test and when can you take those tests? So go there, and then you see how best what you need to prepare. There are books in the libraries. You can study, you can prepare, to go for those tests. And they have a score range between 400 to 1,600. So the higher your score, the better universities that you have. And guess what? If you score one of the top 5 or top 10, and you apply to US universities, trust me, they will scour to give you scholarships. They will run after you to give you scholarships because they see that, you're very intelligent and smart, exceptional student. So the students that get 1,600 or 1,500 or 1,400, in fact, they get scholarships, they get offered scholarships maybe from multiple universities. So, I don't say sense man in this alone. If you can perform and really kill that examination, you can be awarded scholarships from US universities. And this is a fact, okay? Also, so that's for the standardized test result. I think, I don't know the cost of it, but you can go to the US embassy, the US school, American school, by Hill Station and ask information about this. They can give you better information. Also, you need to submit a standardized English test result. Like I said, the US is a very ethnocentric country. Now, some universities might waive this for you, but some, no, you have to take it. So there are 4 different types that you can normally choose from which one you want to submit. You can submit IELTS. So what's in IELTS? So IELTS is the Intensive English Language Test scores. IELTS means Intensive English Language Test. So this is basically the test score that is organized or put together by the accepted by British schools, but also American schools do accept IELTS. So you have to submit an IELTS, and you also have to understand that not only IELTS results, they do have further criteria for the IELTS scores. So they may accept certain scores. You can go to www.britishcouncil.sl, click on that website, click on IELTS, and see where I think now you can do it online. I don't know. I think there are also locations that you can take them here in Freetown. But go there, do your research, and see the requirements. I'm sure it should be around $200 for the examination fee. You can check that. Okay, I might be wrong, but please check that. I stand corrected. Or you can submit a TOEFL. TOEFL, what is TOEFL? TOEFL is a test of English as a foreign language. So that is basically what is mostly or usually accepted by U.S. universities in the U.S. Most universities it's basically a test that is specifically designed for U.S. schools. Test of English as a foreign language. So also, so these tests are basically divided into 4 parts. You have the speaking, you have the listening, you have the reading, and you have the writing part. And you would think, say easy, it's not easy. Because one thing you have to understand is, for the IELTS, it's approached differently. You have to approach it as somebody, who is coming from an British English speaking perspective. For the TOEFL, you have to approach it as you're writing to or for the American English audience. So it's very different. So you have to understand those nuances, and so that you approach those examinations differently. There is so much we can talk about. Maybe on another show, I will delve deeper into how to approach these examinations. Another option you can choose from is the Pearson English Test Course. Pearson is not popular here, but you can go to www.pearson.com. You can also take the test there and submit those test scores. It's acceptable. And Duolingo is becoming very popular now because it's quite affordable. It's way more affordable than TOEFL and IELTS. I think it costs $100. I think so, and that can be done online. It's less rigid. So most people go for Duolingo now. So like I said, I stand corrected on the cost. Please do your research. Go online and check and confirm. So you can go to https://englishtest.duolingo.com for more information on this. Now, you also need to submit. So you have to submit either one. So you don't have to submit all 4, just one. Most schools require you to submit one. If you have the resources, you can do 2. Kudos to you. But most universities require just one of these 4 English test result. You also have to submit a school leaving certificate, which is mostly your testimonials saying you attended this school, because you have to show confirmation that you went through 6 years of secondary school. And previous results, if you took multiple tests, multiple results, worst result, also submit those. Personal statement. Now, like I said, I'll have to talk more about this later on in another episode. How do you write a compelling personal statement for undergrad, grad, and at the highest level? Also, some schools, they ask for study objective, which it's just a small distinction between personal statement. But yes, study objective, some schools will ask, why do you want to study this particular subject? They want to hear that as well. And then a financial guarantor, how are you going to finance your course? You have to be able to say that to them. If you are doing it personally, you have to say it. If you're doing it from a grant or from a scholarship, you have to say that. If you're doing it out of pocket, you have to say that. If you're taking a loan from a bank or from one of these financing companies, you can also state that. And finally, you have to submit letters of reference, which is mostly 3. They need 3. One from your academic, one that is academic. If you are working or you have worked before, one from your boss. Basically, 2 from academia, and then 1 from your boss if you have worked before. If you haven't worked before, you can submit one from somebody. Can be a referee for you, your reverend pastor or whomever. So we're gonna take a short break, and I will come back, and then I will talk about the other universities, basically, which is not too different from what I've said. And I'll get back to you. I'll be back shortly.
I wanna jump up on it. I wanna jump up on it. Me salon people who are ready for the biggest top of the town. Well organized a big fiesta.
This year we dey bring Tona, the best of local Sierra Leonean stars them. We go ready for light up the stage and international headliners them. We go blow you mind.
We get the best and quality DJs them. We go pattern the hottest banda. Generation yet unborn must feel this flavor.
You want know the theme for this year? Na bright, bold and vibrant colors them. We go then at any corner where you turn. And members say we go get delicious food them and drinks that we go keep you energized for this unforgettable night of fun.
All this go happen Saturday, November 23. That's something go be. Just 7 o'clock p.m. every
2024. Usai life and music, but jam body together, and we go enjoy the most epic way.
Tickets them available now. Now all major outlets and Epic Radio. Within a 54A import code, Freetown. So wait till you can wait for. This fiesta is going to be epic.
Hi, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're listening to us on 99.3 FM Epic Radio, thank you. If you're watching us on Facebook live stream on Epic Radio, thank you so much. My name is Mulku Sulaiman Bangura, and I am your host, and this is your favorite show, Talk to M, which is brought to you every Tuesday, 8 p.m. live. Now, we have been on the topic on international education, and today we are talking about the application process, applying for universities as an international student. We want to exhaust this topic so much that there's nothing left for you to go and research. We want to provide you with enough information, army with enough information to crash that gate. All the gatekeepers, we're going to crash them. So today I've been talking about the requirements, the processes, the admission cycle, and what it means applying as an international student. So let's go. I just completed the undergrad requirements for most U.S. universities. So now we are moving to other universities. So this is applicable to universities in Europe and Canada as well. So what do you need to submit? You can also be a part of the show. Please send in your text message, or you can call us on 079-994-993. Please, I would love to hear from you, your comments, and I would love to hear your thoughts as well. And also, if you have positive criticism about the show, please, I would like to hear your positive criticism and how I can improve the show as well. So please, I need to hear all of those details. Slander me. Okay, so you need a GCA. So basically, GCA level or GCO level. They're on the way old at my age. Those were things, older than me. They used to, I have a call coming in right now. Can we just put this caller in? Let me hear what they have to say. Hello and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon.
How are you, ma?
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested over the interview because I'm listening to it right now.
Okay.
But if someone doesn't have the opportunity for someone to help her to push her education.
Mm-hmm. You mean if you don't have the finances to pursue your education?
Yes, sir. That's what I mean, because I have my work results. Mm-hmm. And then I have all of my subjects, but I don't have the finance because.
Yeah, I really understand. Finance can be a very challenging thing. But I would tell you this: exceptional students can attract financing from organizations. There are one or two Muslim organizations that I know, but I have to confirm if they do finance university students. There are one or two organizations that do finance exceptional. So what I mean by exceptional, I mean students with the 6 A's, 7 A's, 5 A's, or promising students that can really articulate that they want this. They can actually be financed by some of those organizations. Also, you can think about taking the SATs. It costs like $200. I think I don't know the cost, but if you attempt to take the SATs and you outperform yourself, you outdo yourself, I am very sure with those results you can get scholarships from universities in the U.S. And this is something this is a fact. So if you can have maybe somebody you can take a loan, or you can have somebody, a friend, or somebody give you that amount of money, go attempt to take that SAT. I mean, there are so many resources online you can study for free. You can also go to the U.S. Embassy, walk into the library. They have books there. You can go there to study every day and study for your examinations. They have tutors that can help you as well. Prepare, plan, and work hard. I'm telling you, you perform and you become an exceptional student, those universities in the U.S., they will definitely fund your study. And I know people that they have done this for, and they keep doing it. Okay? So make that attempt and try to see how best you can attract. It's just about how exceptional you are and how badly you want, this. Okay, thank you so much for that question, ma'am. I really appreciate you calling. So I hope my response was helpful. So okay, she dropped the line. Okay, so like I said, you have to submit a GCA level result, for students for universities in Europe. And also, some do accept SATs, but like I said, it depends on the university. You have to really research what they are looking for and what they want. You can only know that if you research and have meetings with these grad admissions officers. They will be willing to help you. Also, they do accept WAS. However, there is a catch to this, right? With your WAS result, they have what is called International Education Assessment Services. For instance, they have WES, which is the most popular one, okay, which is World Education Assessment Services. So what WES does is they take your WAS result, they put it on their system. So they have a ranking system, okay, and an assessment system. So they put it on their system to match your results with what is acceptable in that country. And then they will get the final results and how it's basically compared to their own country. So, what I mean by that, Pankrio? So, if you submit your WASC result and you get 6A, so where's they take that result today, then put another in system. If now England they apply for, or Hungary or France, then put another in system. Now France and the educational system, and compare your 6A with France then your own educational system ranking. Okay, so sometimes in France that's 6A, now 8A, okay, and then we say, this is an exceptional student. Sometimes if na 4A you get in England, then in a 6A or 7A, for instance. So basically, that's how they rank them. If in a master's course, if in a, let's say you apply with your undergrad degree, you get a 2.5 or 2.8, but when they rank them, like the West system, they find out say, okay, this in England, now 3 points. In America, in a particular school in the US, now 3.5. So they rank them for you based on that country educational system. So that's what I mean by the assessment. They are assessing those results for you. So now you have to do your research. Some universities will require you to go through WES and do that assessment, while some universities they have their own in-house assessment system, so you don't have to do that assessment by yourself. Please do your research. Some schools require you to go through WES to pay extra cash for that, while some schools say, no, send no more. We do have our own internal assessment system, and we will assess this result using our own system. Okay? So they also have international education evaluations, IEE. They have UK INIC. They have educational credential evaluators. They have international qualifications assessment services, IQAS, which is basically for Canada if you're applying to universities in Canada. However, some, like I said, most universities now they do accept direct applications. You don't have to go through, in terms of your result, you don't have to go through these services. But check, please. So for all education services, you want to reach out to them. You can find them on www.wes.org for WES. International Education Evaluations, www.myiee.org. UK ENIC, you can reach out to them on www.enic.org.uk. Education Credential Evaluators, you can reach out to them on www.ece.org. International Qualifications Assessment Services, you can reach out to them on www.alberta.ca. Like I said, this is specifically for Canadian schools. And you have to submit school leaving certificate, like I mentioned earlier, previous test results, personal statements, study objective, financial commitment, and letters of reference. Now, for postgraduate. So postgraduate is basically if you want for good your masters. For those that are intending to study their master's degree or their PhD. So you have to submit an undergraduate result. So what is an undergraduate? You must have completed 4 years of school here. For most universities in Sierra Leone, you have to complete 4 years of school. And you have to present an undergraduate degree, saying that, I graduated with a BA in or BSc or, or LL, I'm so sorry for the last, please, LLB, BA, MSc, in something, whatever it is that you intend to pursue, you have your 4 years degree on. And Some schools in the US, they do accept a combination of HND and ND. They take that as a 4 years degree. If you have HND, higher national diploma, and you have national diploma, you can combine those two results, those two degrees, or those two certificates or diplomas, and then you can apply with them. Some schools do take HND and ND. Also, like for instance, Clark University. Also, some schools do take 3-year degrees, 3-year degree courses. So there are some schools in India, there are some schools in Nigeria, there are some schools in Ghana that do offer 3 years degree courses. So some schools in the US do accept 3 years degree courses. Okay, you just have to have a higher GPA for that, for you to qualify for for them to review your application. You also have to submit a complete official transcript. Now, when they say official transcript, it means that the transcript has to be sealed, signed, and stamped by the university and sent from the university, directly from the university. I know, University of Sierra Leone, they frown against this, and they've not been doing this for the past couple of years, to my knowledge. So, but if what you can do is go there, get your transcript, put them in an envelope, seal and stamp it. Do not open that envelope, and then you take that envelope to the school. Some school will accept it as an official transcript. Now, they do accept unofficial transcript, meaning the one that you receive from the university when you move from one stage to another. They do accept that unofficial transcript as the document that is needed for the admissions process to be completed successfully. So if you have an official transcript, you can still send that. But when you are being accepted and when you are arriving in the US, you have to bring in your official transcript to complete the whole process. Try to, if you are a student, in the undergrad right now and you are intending to pursue your higher education, please do well and try to. Your GPA should be 2.8, the lowest 2.8 and above, for you to attract more scholarships and funding and also more opportunities. A GPA lower than that normally does not attract higher scholarships. You can be accepted with 2.5, 2.4. You will be accepted, but it wouldn't attract higher scholarships. So 2.8, 3.0, 3.5, which is the norm, and up to 4 points if you can do that. They will definitely welcome those students as high performing students and give them scholarships. Also, so some universities will also require test result. We also require the result evaluation. Those are the ones I spoke about earlier. The WES, the international education evaluations, the UK unique education credentials evaluators, and international qualifications assessment. Now, most importantly, you have to submit a resume. You have to understand that you have to tailor your resume based on the location, the geographical location you're applying for. For instance, if you're applying to universities in the US, tailor your resume according to the US standard. If you are applying for universities in Europe, tailor your resume for European standard. I've seen some horrible resumes in my life. People will take pictures of themselves and then put them on their resume and then submit for universities in the US. They won't even review your application. That's how you get denial easily. Who don't want to see your face? There's LinkedIn for that. Okay? So tailor your resume based on the geographical location of where you're applying for. That way you attract the admissions officer's attention. I have a call coming. Let me answer this quickly. Good evening, please. When are your name and where you call from?
Yes, I'm the girl that just called you just now. My name is Alimatu Mariama Kakpo.
Okay, Alimatu. Yeah, so Alimatu, I think I was answering your question, and I was saying to you, you have to do a little bit more research on the financing in terms of in institutions and individuals. But I know schools do offer scholarships as well. Like I hosted a friend of mine here, Farouk. He got his scholarships from his school, Sierra Leone Grammar School. So ask, for your school and see which scholarships are there.
Yeah, like I have asked so many times for to grant me and help because I have 3 A's, 3 B's, and 3 C's.
Okay. It's a good result, but you just have to. the thing about asking for scholarships, you have to be persistent. You can ask your school. You can also go to the Ministry of Education. I'm sure there are opportunities there that will tell you the scholarships that are available there that you can apply for, that anybody can apply for, if you want to pursue education here in Sierra Leone. But if you're looking at traveling out of the country, like I said, you have to attempt to take the SATs, because that's the one that is highly acceptable by universities. When you take SAT, it's easy for the universities to review your performance and say, oh, this is a high performing student, because they were able to pass our own testing seamlessly. So, like I said, if you can go to the US American school at Hill Station, ask them, what is the SAT? How can you take the SAT? And what's the cost of SAT? And see if you can, get a loan from a friend or somebody that can help you take that exams. If you ace that exam, you pass that exam with very good grade, you can apply to universities abroad, and they will give you scholarships.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you so much, Alimatu.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, so so as I was saying, you have to tailor your resume based on the geographical location of where you're coming from. It's quite critical in the process. So standardized English test results, like I said, you have to submit either or, IELTS, TOEFL, Pearson, or Duolingo, which is acceptable by most universities in the US and other countries in the world. Also, now for that also, some universities can actually waive that requirement for you. So some universities, if you're able to convince them, prove to them that you studied in English throughout your school, they can waive those language requirements. Before I left Clark University, I was basically I was advocating, because Sierra Leoneans applying at Clark University needed to submit IELTS or Duolingo or Pearson test or TOEFL. So I advocated as an admissions officer that they waive that requirement, because we basically go to school here and we've been taught in English, since kindergarten. So, I mean, I don't see the need to actually take these examinations, to be accepted there, because we went through school and we were taught in English. So before I left there, I was successful in doing so, and they eliminated and removed that requirement for Sierra Leoneans. So basically, sorry, yeah, I'm tooting my horn here, but yeah, that's exactly what I did whilst I was there. So, like I said, submit one of those results and they're accepted. Also, depending on the type of course you are applying for, you might be needed to submit a GRE. Now, what's a GRE? So GRE is basically graduate graduate records examinations. Okay, that's what GRE means, graduate records examination. It's a standardized test as well that is divided into 3 parts: qualitative analysis, verbal, let me come back. So it's divided into 3 parts. You have the quantitative, you have the verbal aspect, and you also have the analytical writing. Okay, so these 3 areas is what you'll be tested on. Quantitative, basically, you'll be tested on all those mathematical equations, algebra, sorts, angles, everything you did in Form 1 mathematics, and arithmetic, everything. That's what they would be testing you on. And also you'll be doing verbal, where you'll be basically required to, they will test your vocabulary skills and how good are you with words, your range of, vocabulary, and how can you identify those words, the meanings, and interpret them as well. And most importantly, for analytical writing, which is quite critical. You have to really understand and study this. They want to test your critical thinking and how good are your writing skills. So that is very, very tough sometimes. You have to understand the American style of writing to be able to pass that test. So some courses, like most of the business courses, MBA, those executive MBA courses or any business course, most courses require you to submit a GRE. Even some computer science courses, some science courses as well require you to submit GRE results. So it depends, like I said, based on the university. Some universities will waive this for you based on your overall CGPA. CGPA means cumulative grade point average at the end of your undergrad. They will waive that for you if your CGPA is higher. You know, like Clark University, if you have 3.0 and higher, they will waive that for you, so you don't get to take that GRE, because GRE, my brothers and sisters, GRE not a small thing. It's a very tough examination, so they will waive that for you. Also, you have what is called a GMAT. So some will ask for GRE or GMAT. So GRE is mostly famous, you know, in the US, and GMAT is famous for British schools in the UK. So GMAT, Graduate Management Admissions Test, like I said, but most schools accept either or in the US or in America. So, like I said, most courses require you to submit those, but they will waive that for you as well. If you want to know more about GRE, you can go to their website, www.etsglobal.org. You would see everything about GRE, practice tests, and get yourself prepared if you intend to study. GMAT, I'm so sorry I didn't bring the website for you, but just type GMAT on Google or your favorite client, AI, one of the chat clients. They can, ChatGPT, they can give you the website for that. Also, a personal statement. Like I said, I have to schedule a day for that to talk about personal statement. And letters of reference, they need 3. So for you, if you're applying for a master's or a PhD, 3 letters of reference. You need to submit what your, from your work, your previous work, and one from your academic advisor, and one from your lecturer, depending on your relationship that you have with them. So you have to present 3, minimum 3. Do not submit 2, please. Submit 3. They love it when you submit 3, because they want to hear what 3 people said about you, and what they feel about you, and who you are, and your character, and also how committed you are to education and any other work that you're applying for. So if you have evidence of your past work, you can attach them. Mostly, it doesn't really help. But I mean, if they can help, well, let me take that back. If you have evidence of your past work in terms of awards, in terms of fellowship awards, in terms of whatever awards, add them there so that it can be appealing, to the admissions team, for them to make a decision on you. Because at the end of the day, after reviewing the application, the team has to sit down and say, let's accept the students, let's deny the students. So you have to be able to convince them, to accept you in their universities. Now for PhD, it's almost the same thing. The only thing that is mandatory for PhD is publications. So you have to have published either a book or articles, or you have to have done peer reviews or appeared on peer reviews, by scholastic peer reviews. I mean, I'm not talking about just magazine peer reviews. I'm talking about scholastic peer reviews. You have to appear on those, for you to qualify for a PhD. And you have to be highly convincing, because for PhD, I'm telling you, most people don't have the finances to finance their PhD, so they depend on scholarship from the school or some international organization. So you really have to be convincing as to why you want to pursue, this PhD course, which could be in research or it could be a PhD, a practical PhD. So it depends on, where you want to specialize in. But you have to submit at least, peer review documentation. You have to submit, publication or books or articles you have written in the past that have been published, and demonstrate your passion for what you want to pursue for the next 4 or 5 years of your life. Like I said, everything stands still. Is basically the same requirements, and GRE as well is required for some PhD courses and stuff. Lastly, before I shut up and let you go, the review process. There's a lot that goes in the review process. As an international student, it's highly advisable, that you submit your application early into the admission. So if you want to study in the US or the UK, try to submit early so that you give the admissions officers enough time to review, because it will take them between 2 to 3 months to read your application, at least a month if you apply early. It will take them some time to review, read your application, and get back to you with responses. So please send in your applications early so that they can respond to you as early as they will definitely reach out. So do not call them, do not bother them. They will get back to you surely within the best possible time. But reach out, send in your applications early. The earlier the better for you. Now, I will have to stop here for today because I'm out of time. I would say it has been a wonderful time, but we have to continue from where I left off because now we have to talk about, the offers that the university will offer you. The conditional offers, unconditional offers, and scholarship offers, financing. Where can you go for finances? What are the financial options that are available to finance your education? And then also we have to talk about the visa preparation process. What are the documents that you need to have? The I-20, the service fee. How much does it cost? If you were traveling to the US and the UK as well, I have to bring that to you on the next show. And also, how do you prepare for pre-departure, and when you arrive there, what's it going to be like for you studying university. So there's a lot I have to bring to you, and I'm going to bring all this information to you until you get tired of seeing me. But I feel that there are people that need this information, and if I get one person to use this information, apply to go study to the US, I have succeeded. I only need one person, and if one person can say, oh, I used the information that was given to me by this show, we have succeeded. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So join me again next week for another episode of Talk to M. We're going to have a special guest. That guest studied in Australia, and they're going to share with us their lived experiences studying on another continent, very far away from, their family, their friends, and how grueling was it? How depressing was it? How challenging was it to study in a place called Australia? How was it like with the student, with the faculty? What resources were available to him as he was struggling, to travel the path of higher education? So next week, join me. As I have that guest, we'll talk all about it. Thank you so much for listening to my show. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, whether you're listening on radio or TV, or whether you're catching the reels and shorts on my social media platforms. Thank you so much. Add me on TikTok as well to see more of my reels at Mulku. At Mulku_Bangura, and you will see most of my reels and shorts and all this. And thank you so much, and join me again next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. live on Epic Radio 99.3 FM. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the evening and rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Super brighter future. I'm moving ahead. I never stop for nothing. I'm looking forward. Super brighter.